PM Anonymous. I've got a question here, Emily, and it says, as a PM, if I feel my skills are not up to scratch, what should I tell my boss when I'm put on a project?
Oh, wow. Okay. So we all know we don't want to tell our boss, I can't do it. Bosses don't want to hear that you can't do it. That sounds like you're making excuses. But also, bosses don't want to hear that you can do it if you can't. Because managers, senior managers, whatever level his or her boss is, has responsibilities of their own. So what should this individual do? I think that's more of a longer conversation. What are your expectations, manager? And to figure out what that project manager is currently able to do, and then what skills they need in order to meet those. Is this something where they can read, they can research, they can take a class, or is it something that they'll be able to bring in a partner or even to delegate this to someone else? And maybe that's an opportunity for the project manager to get some mentoring from someone higher up within the organization. And actually, if it's looked at as an opportunity and presented that way, then that project manager looks more responsible and more reliable in the long run because they've learned a new skill.
Right. It seems, and I'm being naughty here, but it seems that from the domain on this email address, it's an IT company. So could it be that this person is scared of maybe Java or JavaScript or C++? I don't know. But what advice could you give someone who maybe is an IT project manager, but for the life of them couldn't distinguish between hardware and software?
Well, okay, so this is something that a lot of people argue back and forth on. If you're a project manager, do you have to be an expert in everything to which your project is fixing or changing? And a lot of people say no. If you're an expert project manager, then you can manage anything. Now, we all know your job as a project manager is much easier if you understand the vocabulary and you're able to better assess risks because you know how the technology works. So, this is an individualistic type of situation to analyze. But there's always the ability to get training.
That's true. Yeah. There is. And I was speaking to a buddy of mine who used to work at the office, and he ends up going to work for another company, and then I see him last week, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Where are you? And he says he's moved companies, and the company he is now, he's more like a director-level person, and he's taken technologies that he learned in this company he went to work for first to this new company. I'm like, you really have mastered what you learned in this first company when you just left. And he says, no, Phill, I just know who to go to get what I need. So a lot of times, like you said, PMs think they need to be the be-all, end-all of the project. They have to be the know-it-all, even on IT projects. And I don't think it has to be the case, does it?
No, and that is a barrier that all people go through when they become a manager. From an individual contributor, because there are actually different styles of working. As an individual contributor, you need to be an expert on the work that you're doing.
Right.
As a manager, you don't have to be an expert on the technologies, and in fact, many project managers know you lose a lot of your technical expertise when you start doing what's necessary to be a successful project manager. Right. So I think every person is different, but it's a matter of communicating and really understanding what's at risk and what's expected of the project manager.
So being honest, really, just if you need mentoring, get mentoring. If you need coaching, get coaching. And, one of the words in the PMBOK guide, do you remember the tool and technique that's most talked about in the PMBOK guide? You know which one?
Is this expert judgment?
Expert judgment, of course, expert judgment. Expert judgment comes from a variety of sources.
It does.
A lot of PMs, they've got hang-ups. They don't want to go to people and say, I don't know. They don't want to be honest. And, my 2 cents would be honest. If you don't know, you don't know. But in all of that, have a get stuff done mindset. As Jack Welch calls it, have a get it done mindset to, no matter what happens, go all out, find the resources and make it happen. But I'm curious, you've got all sorts of technical certs. Do you have any, additional 2 cents for this PM who is in the IT world?
Well, the thing about IT is it's always changing. And so it's worth analyzing what technology is it that PM is lacking. Is it a technology that's on the wayside, or is it something that's new and upcoming, and this project manager sees potential for multiple projects, and everybody's talking about big data now, and there's all sorts of technologies that make that up. Is that the area? Just one example. And so also, how interested is that project manager in learning? It's a different skill set to work with technology. Sometimes it is. A lot of people successfully can be managers and individual contributors or IT professionals. But so my recommendation is know yourself, know what you like, know what you're good at, and find someone that you work with, maybe, hopefully, that is a complement and can augment your weaknesses and build you up.
That's a really good point. Find another expert, find an expert. Well, thank you so much, Emily. That was a really interesting question, because in today's world, lots of people I hear from go to interviews that are predominantly for IT projects. So if you have any questions, be you from engineering or healthcare, wherever you're from, please send them in to Praizion.com. Go to info@Praizion.com. Send an email to us.